Welcome all to another RGN C64 Quickload, your concise guide to latest news and releases for the Commodore 64, delivered in bite-sized portions. Let's see what we have for you in this episode. Let's start off with Jupiter Fracture, a title released as part of the Commodore 64 Ultimate Collection and a spiritual successor to the arcade classic Lunar Lander. Jupiter Fracture tasks you with navigating a landing craft through the jagged, fractured environments of Jupiter's moon. The gameplay remains faithful to its roots, focusing heavily on physics-based navigation where you must balance limited fuel and momentum to touch down safely on designated pads. The game features 9 levels, each with a distinct set of hazards and gravity settings. All of the levels are spread out across multiple screens. The game physics are smooth and responsive, allowing for the kind of precision required for this kind of genre. This control is further aided by a clever dynamic camera that zooms in as you approach a landing pad. A great touch that adds a sense of scale and focus. However, this camera system isn't without its growing pains. The transition between the zoomed out and zoomed in views can occasionally be jarring, sometimes resulting in unfair lander placement that can lead to unexpected crash. Furthermore, the hit detection in the zoomed out view feels a little less polished than the rest of the experience, occasionally clipping objects that I felt I'd safely cleared. In terms of challenge, the gameplay is generally well balanced for the casual pilot. The inclusion of a password system is a very welcome addition, respecting the player's time by removing the need to slog through earlier levels repeatedly. Ultimately, Jupiter Fracture is a polished and thoughtful sequel. It respects the legacy of the 1982 original while introducing enough modern quality of life features and narrative weight to make it a must-play for fans of gravity-based puzzlers. Casa is a clever and intuitive puzzle game that's built entirely around resource management and forward planning. Each level presents you with a fixed number of coins, and the goal is simple: reach the exit with exactly the correct amount remaining. Movement is key. Walking over tiles consumes coins, broken tiles disappear after use, and portals force you to carefully time when and how many coins you spend before stepping through. There's no timer, which removes frustration and allows the puzzles to breathe, encouraging logical thinking rather than trial and error. Some of the most satisfying stages are those that combine portals and collapsing tiles, where every step must be planned in advance. The presentation is minimal, with very basic visuals, but the cheerful, bouncy music helps carry the experience. While it truly clicks from around level 7 and is compelling enough to complete in one sitting, Casa is ultimately a one-time playthrough in an already crowded C64 puzzle genre. In Spy Combat 2, Mr. X returns. You reprise your role as Agent Shanky, infiltrating a secret lab to recover stolen virus data. Built on a modified sideways Cirque engine, the game features a good SID soundtrack that sets a high-energy spy-themed atmosphere. However, the experience quickly becomes a bit of a slog. Despite the objective-based mechanics, the gameplay feels quite dull and cumbersome. There are noticeable shortcomings in the level design where navigation often feels intuitive. More frustratingly, limitations within the game engine can occasionally result in your sprite getting physically stuck in the environment, resulting in a loss of life, or even worse, forcing an unnecessary restart. While the hand-drawn visuals have personality, the clunky execution prevents this sequel from truly taking off. Spy Combat 2 is available now on itch.io. Egg Feud is a charming single platformer that pays clear homage to C64 classics like Jumpman Jr. and Bounty Bob Strikes Back. Your mission is simple but addictive. Navigate through multiple stages and collect every egg on screen while avoiding some persistent foxes. What immediately stands out are the modern, tight controls. It feels responsive and precise, which is essential when you're weaving through hazards and chasing a spot on the high score table. Visually, it leans into that nostalgic, clean aesthetic that's perfect for quick coffee break gaming sessions. While the core mechanic of clearing a level to progress is straightforward, the challenge ramps up nicely, making a great pickup for high score chasers. If you're looking for a fun, polished arcade experience that feels like a lost gem from the 80s, Egg Feud is a solid free addition to your digital library. So the only question left to ask is, have we had enough platformers on the C64? In Terminal Walker, you're tasked with infiltrating an AI-controlled data center to blow up a nuclear reactor and save humanity from eternal slavery. If you're expecting this to be a mindless first-person shooting experience, then you'll be disappointed. Initial progress requires a good degree of stealth, exploration, and collecting weapon and shield upgrades before you can partake in any one-on-one blasting action with success. Technically, the game is a marvel. It features a fast and clean 3D rendering engine that pushes the C64 to its limits. However, while the technology is impressive, the actual gameplay is let down by the worst trait of any game: respawning enemies. I was enjoying my time with the game very much, until I realised that enemy robots that I'd worked so hard to eliminate were coming back to life when re-entering levels. This absolutely killed the experience for me. Further, the game is screaming out for an in-game auto map. The labyrinth-like levels can be disorientating, as there is no distinguishing features within the level mazes, and the walkthrough guide that shows you each level is quite difficult to decipher, further emphasising the confusing level designs. Terminal Walker is absolutely a stunning technical achievement, but unfortunately stumbles on its own difficulty curve and game design flaws. Quarx from the 8-Bit Guy is a polished action puzzler that brings high-end production to the falling block genre. You'll be rotating multicoloured blocks to clear horizontal, vertical or diagonal lines across an attractive, vertically orientated playfield. Visually, it's a treat, featuring bold colours and psychedelic background effects that keep the action feeling dynamic. The inclusion of multiple tileset is a welcome touch, and the SID soundtrack is easily a highlight, delivering fantastic rhythmic vibes. While the production is hard to fault and the controls are responsive, the core mechanics feel very familiar. It's a solid pick up and play title, but at the $10 asking price, it's a tough recommendation for those seeking long-term depth. A well-crafted experience, just one that doesn't quite reinvent the wheel. And that is a wrap on another edition of the C64 Quickload. Hope you enjoyed the content. Until next time, bye for now.